Bulloch County Historical Society. Today I bring you the 6th Hideway Tidbit, and today we're going to talk about tourist homes in Statesboro. We had several tourist homes here in the 1940s, 50s, and they waned away in the 1960s. A tourist home was a private residence advertising rooms for auto travelers. These were different from boarding houses, as guests at tourist homes were just passing through. Tourist homes that I have postcards from include the following. Some had just wonderful descriptions on the back of the amenities they offer. We'll first look at Miss Williams' tourist home, 302 Savannah Avenue, private bath and hot water. This was located on US 80. Yes, Savannah Avenue was also US 80 for many years. Katie Olson and my two godchildren, David and Olivia Ann, reside here today. Kenwood Tourist Home, 5 miles south of Statesboro on Route 301. The back of the postcard reads, typical old Southern home. Over 100 years old, large rooms, quiet. Back from Highway 301, TV and lobby, beauty rest mattresses, meals by request, moderate rates. Your host, Mr. and Mrs. Cecil E. Kennedy. Telephone 2614. This residence is the family home of our corporate member, Everett Kennedy. Colonial Guest House, 201 South Main Street, on Federal Highway routes 301, 25, and 80. Mrs. H.F. Hook, manager. This is where Queensboro Bank and Trust is located today. We all know Frank Hook. This is his family's home. Mrs. Johnston's tourist home in the heart of Bulloch County, 126 North Main. Phone 282. North end of town, air-cooled, insulated, controlled furnace heat, private and connecting baths, large lighted parking lot, approved by the Federal Highway Guide. And then there's our house on 301, Mrs. E.A. Smith. They were part of First Federal. Mrs. Smith's daughter was Mary Ruth Dodd. She and her husband were great friends of my parents. On another note, during this period of time, traveling was not easy for the rising African American middle class who had the finances and the vehicle for travel, but faced a world where social and legal restrictions barred them from many accommodations. The Negro Motorist Green Book was published from 1936 until 1964 due to Jim Crow conditions of that era. It listed lodgings, restaurants, fuel stations, liquor stores, barber and beauty salons that did not have racial restrictions. Segregation of U.S. tourist accommodations would legally be ended by the Civil Rights Act of 1964. I looked on eBay to buy a copy of the Green Book for our society, and I thought I found one. The cost was $22. I then realized that this was a new facsimile of the 1940s guide. At auction, the Green Book sells for $22,000. In this guide, there are very few towns in Georgia listed. Those were Albany, Atlanta, Augusta, Brunswick, Columbus, Dublin, Eastman, Greensboro, Macon, Savannah, and Waycross. No, there was no mention of Statesboro. Now remember, at auction, $22,000. So I have a shout out to one of our corporate members, Carolyn Jordan up in Boston, Massachusetts. Her family's a member through the William James Legacy Group. She is William James' granddaughter. All right, Carolyn, look in the attic. I know your family has a copy of this. Finally, here is the Automobile Legal Association Green Book Guide for 1922. It was known as the ALA. It was the first GPS, so to speak, and I'm going to read you a little bit, in a list that it has for travel from Augusta to Waycross, a distance of 211.4 miles, via Vidalia, On mostly gravel, the rest is clay. It says start Broad Street at Confederate Monument. Go west with the trolley on Broad. Point 5, turn left away from the trolley. On 12th Street, point 9, cross the railroad. 2.1, cross trolley tracks again. Begin concrete. Fork, bear right. End of street, bear left. Cross wooden bridges. I just bet this was our Ogeechee River, as it was 55.5 in Midville. Truly fascinating, the first Google directions. Until next week, stay safe.